Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. I am just drinking a little bit of water here. Hydration is important. And I have my cup mug. And it's me. That's a panel full of cup mugs. It's a panel full of cup mugs. Dear, no, dear island, let tea interview. Ooh, ooh. Yay. And I am, and you can have your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in North America. So there are no excuses. Get your cup merch. Now, I am here to do a interview with our runner-up of Deal or No Deal Island, Letty. Woo! I am excited to talk to her. She is so amazing. And I enjoyed watching her this season. So, me personally, I enjoy watching her this season. So, I'm excited to talk to her. And I can't wait to see for you all to hear what she has to say. Before we do that, y'all know what to do. Subscribe to this channel and all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below in our link tree. And you can just hit the subscribe button right here, right now, because why not? And because we're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we are working so hard to give you great content and on-time content. So regular content on a regular interviews, so we want to do that for you. So all we need for you to do is just subscribe, and we'll continue to give our best. And if you just hit that button, subscribe to all of our channels. If you're a fan of Drag Race or Drag or Eurovision Song Contest or WWE Wrestling, we have a channel for you. So please hit the links to subscribe to all of our channels. And if you need to listen to us on the go, we have our audio podcast links down there in the description as well. If you need to check us out, and our Patreon is down there, so you can see all the fun things we do behind the scenes. And we're not talking about Deal or No Deal Island or any of the other things, but we're just having a good time. So check out our Patreon. It is fun. So I am going to stop talking, and it's enough about me. We did this interview with Letty on a different platform, so it's going to look different when we jump from different place to different place. But the interview is there. So without further ado, it's Letty. Yay. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You played such an amazing game. It was look, I was fun. I had a fun time watching you play. And a lot of people in my circle, I will
Uh-huh.
say, was not so pleased seeing you make it thus far. I will be honest. They were like, I mean, she's playing a good
That's
game.
because they a hater. Lana, we don't need them. They're a
Exactly.
hater.
That is what I was saying. I was like, I don't know what y'all so bad at.
And Lana, you know why people hate?
Because they can't be you, baby. They hate because
Period.
they can't be you. I know. Haters are your motivators. You should listen.
Yeah, no, especially when you're doing something good and people hate on you, you're like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
jealous. Oh, you are screaming you're jealous. That's fine, but like just be
Just
self-aware.
say that. Just say
Yeah, just
that.
say that.
Just say that. But I really do. I appreciated you. I thought you played a really good game. I was like, sure, it's not like the game everybody wanted you to play. Like everybody wanted you to be like mean and vindictive, and you chose to play the honest route.
But Lana, people judge me in society. Like the way I look, I want a pageant, right? Like beauty queen,
Hmm.
whatever. People
Right.
want me to be a bitch. People want me to be
Absolutely.
a bad guy so they can have a reason to hate me. And when you don't have a reason to hate me, guess what? People still hate me just because of the way I look.
Period. I mean, hey, it is what it is. And I am here for that. I enjoy watching you play. So I need to know how you feel after watching the finale you made it to the finale. Like
Oh yeah.
that's
Oh yeah,
that's
we
ki-
made it go. We made
that's
it.
kind of awesome. So how do you feel about watching it though?
I was honestly filled with gratitude. So I'm living, on the show I talked about moving back home with my parents if I didn't win this money. And guess what? We back home with the parents. Okay, fam.
It's okay.
I'm gonna move out. I still have my dreams of New York. It's just I'm collecting the finances right now to be able to sustain myself while I'm there. Um,
Absolutely.
hmm But I have had my childhood friends come and watch this with me, and I told them the prior week the outcome because I had an outburst of being frustrated by something I saw, and I'm like, I'm sorry guys, this is the reason, and they're like, oh. So they found out, and so they all still came to watch the finale with me. They brought flowers, they brought champagne, and I truly was poured over with love by these women, and I was like, I'm rich. Like I might not be financially rich right now. I will be one day. Right now is not the
Yes,
time. But the fact that I have friends that cheer me on and
absolutely.
and encourage me when I am facing mental struggles or I don't understand why someone did something or I'm trying to wrap my head around the confusion I'm facing and just giving me words of affirmation like behind you and letting me know that whatever's next is even greater than what just came behind me. So grateful. I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for the producers, the casting director. I'm grateful for the cast I met. I'm grateful for the experiences and lessons I learned. I mean, I think I had the little bitter moment, right? I had the
Hmm.
butthurt moment. I had the like,
Hmm.
this is not fair. And I've reached the gratitude moment.
I mean, look, we all go through these stages of when we have dealt with something like this. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never dealt with anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
losing that kind of money, I've never. But
Yeah.
that's a lot, and you have to deal with all of that. And you're human, so of course you're gonna have these moments of anger and
hmm
bitterness and
Yep. It's like
hurt
going
and
through
all.
grief,
It's
right? Like,
grief, absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. So I had my little grieving period. I'm on the back end of it, but it's still there a little bit. Like I'm still working through the grief part, but mostly on the other side.
I mean, look, you better than me because after no, I'm $12 million is a lot of money,
Yeah.
and so it's like I would be holding on to the grief moment for mm, a good little while, like a good little bit. I'm hanging on to that grief moment, but you did it. You come. At least you're coming out of it. I'll probably
hmm
still be in it, but let's go back. I'll probably still be in it, but let's go back to before all of this. What made you apply to the show in the first place?
So actually when I was exiting the WWE, I had a casting director reach out because a previous pageant girl, Taylor Hill, had
Mm,
won
Big Brother.
Big Brother. And
Yes.
she told this casting director about me for another show. And so they were chatting with me about this. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get this. And then I'm going to quit my job at the WWE and just go for this. And it fell through. But then I
Oh,
ended up leaving the WWE anyways. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I kind of want to try this reality competition show route because growing up, I'd always wanted to do one. And I want to act one day.
mhm.
And a lot of people have bashed reality television with acting, but there's a new generation, a new age. And now this could
Absolutely.
be a platform to help you act.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I'm like, you know what? Like, I think the time is now. And I had tried and tried and failed and failed. Like, there were like two shows that pretty much got to the very end, and they're like, oh, you just weren't chosen. Like, someone
Mhm.
was too similar, or you didn't fit a certain category. I'm like, oh, whatever. And then my friend who didn't even know I was auditioning for these shows reached out and they're like, hey, I met a casting director for this show called Deal or No Deal Island. Have you seen it? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And they're like, well, fill out this application and try it out. She was describing people and you fit it perfectly. I'm like, okay. So I go to fill out the application, typos, like two typos.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why would a huge company, NBC, like, why would they
Right.
have typos? Like, what? I was like, this is sketchy. Turned out to be legit. Made it to the next round and the next round and the next round, and finally got casted on the show. So it kind of came about in a way of randomness, like pure luck, God sent.
Right. First of all, I am a huge fan of WWE, so knowing that you work for WWE is crazy. And
Dude, it was crazy there. It was insane. It was the most fun I've ever had, but also like the most dangerous I've ever been
yes,
in my life. I'm like, oh, these concussions and these broken bones are not for
these are
me.
real, right? These are real. Like they're hurting themselves. And then you just said the time is now, and I was like, oh, not John Cena. Okay. Look, I'm a wrestling nerd. I am. I love it, love it, love it. But I'm not gonna stay on that because we're talking about
Yeah,
you. We're talking about you.
we go on a tangent.
Right. I will go for hours about WWE. But I need to know, did you know Parvati and Dr. Will when they first came on the island? Were you a fan of reality TV or did you know them?
I had not known them. So my previous life and especially like my previous job was very consuming. Like being in the
Hmm.
WWE, I mean, I was working 6 days a week and I was
Absolutely.
watching Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And so all of our time is filled with watching wrestling and then also wrestling.
Right.
So I had never really watched other shows except for when I was younger. So I didn't know who these people were. I was not familiar with them, but it seemed like everybody else knew who they were.
Right. Apparently. Everybody else was like, I know who you are, but I'm not going to tell anybody. And I was like,
Why would you do
what?
that? Why would you do that? So for me, whenever I found out they were these people who had already done shows, it really didn't cross my mind as a huge issue.
Mm,
And because of that, because I didn't see it as an issue, or the reason I didn't see it as an issue is because I was like, they're just another person out here. They just have more experience. They're probably
right.
going to lie and manipulate more. So like that should be a red flag. And that's about it. Like they
Hmm.
have just as good a shot as me. Yeah, they have more experience. Yeah. But at the same time, like I wasn't really super concerned about it.
Right. Which is interesting. I mean, I'm a reality TV junkie. This is what I do. I talk to reality stars, and I
Yeah.
like to watch reality TV. So yeah, the second I would have saw Parvati and Dr. Will, I'm like, you know, they gotta go. Like you
Yeah. Yeah.
had
Yeah.
your time, you gotta go. But you and Dr. Will seem to grow closer throughout the show, and I love that because he came in hot.
He
He
did.
came in real hot, and people were just like, either you were with him or you were just like, no, thank you. And I think everybody, for the most part, it started off with like, no, thank you. But then it was
Yeah.
like, but maybe,
But
maybe.
it's funny because everyone was like, no, thank you. And then Storm ended up loving Dr. Will and was like,
Yeah.
Dr. Will, come in. Like, I remember going back to eat dinner from our excursion, and Storm was like, Dr. Will, we have an extra room. You can come in our yurt. And I was like, Storm, why did you just invite this man into our yurt? Like, I do not want this man in our yurt. Like, so he comes, he stays in the bed next to me, and he starts saying all of these dick jokes. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how old you are, but you're like a 40, 50, like, I don't know how old you are, but you're like an older man. Like, stop making dick jokes around me. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
And he respectfully stopped making dick jokes around me. But I was so annoyed with him at the beginning. But then it was time we go to bed.
Hmm.
And when you go to bed, you get your mics off
Right.
because it's not a 24/7 filmed thing.
Right.
And we start opening up and we start talking, and he starts talking about all the shows he's produced and been a part of. And I'm like, wait, Dr. Will is really cool. Wait, Dr. Will is kind of putting on a little bit of a character.
Yes.
And so after the first night spent with Dr. Will, I was like, people just misunderstand him.
Hmm. I can see that because he's such a character and he has such a reputation of being this character. When he came in that hot, I was like, oh, this is Dr. Will playing Dr. Will.
Yeah.
But when he's not Dr. Will, he's still a human being who has life experience and things like that.
Yes.
He's human. I
Yeah.
always appreciated that because I'm a fan of villainy people on shows, so I always tend to root for him. So I was always rooting for Dr. Will in all the shows that I've seen him on, so I didn't mind that.
And I think
I'm
it is
glad.
a beautiful thing to be able to be disliked, right?
Yes.
Like a lot of people on our show wanted to go on and not be disliked. And I think a lot of people misconceived my actions with like me trying
Yes.
to get everybody to like, I don't give a fuck. Like you could hate me, you could despise me, you could be like, oh, she played an honest game, that's so annoying, that's so boring, blah blah blah. You're not the audience I'm trying to impress, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm trying to impress myself, right?
Right.
And I'm also trying to be a person of God. Like, yeah, I know it's a game, so like sometimes the morals
Yes.
and values go out the window, but I want to look at myself in the mirror after this and be like, yes, bitch, you did that.
Yes.
And if Sally June down the street, who I've never met in my life, goes on the internet and says, Letty sucks, she's so boring, I could care less. Keep talking, but make sure you tag me. Make sure you put my name in there so other people can find me. Okay, period.
Right. Steve, you're a real one. You're a real one. I see that. You're a real one. I didn't see it on the show, but you're a real
You
one.
didn't.
And
That's
we,
the thing. So, someone was saying like, "What do you wish people got to see and know more about you?" And I was like, "My personality." The show was mostly about Parvati, David, and Dr. Will because NBC brought them in.
Right.
So people didn't get to know Letty. People didn't get to love or hate me. And I have a personality where you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. There's no like, maybe Letty's cool. Maybe people are like, she sucks or she's awesome.
And they really painted you out as just the person who's, I'm going to play this game honestly, just going to play this
Yeah.
game, and I want to do it. And it was, I guess they dug in on the I want to play this game honesty and loyal and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Where people were just like,
it kind of makes me seem like a little bit of a loser, you know?
right, and approved, like okay, this is reality TV, girl. We're not trying to be honest games here, and so that's why I think everybody got annoyed.
Right, and I wasn't doing it to be like, this is my honest game. It was more like, nah, I can win this shit with being honest, and you fucking couldn't. Like that's what I was bringing to the table. Not like I want to be so honest and so straightforward, and I want everyone to love me and like me. No, I'm just like I'm better than you. I'm gonna fucking win this shit without doing that. Like that was the motto.
I love that. I love that.
If you could clip that for me and edit it,
that will be on my reel when I post it on Instagram. I will tag you in it for
perfect, because that was some tea we just had.
Absolutely, that was my moment. I always put a moment on Instagram. This is the moment. Yep. Okay, so I only have a couple of minutes left. I need to know, how did you feel seeing your allies not try to hurt David in the end? Like you. And did you expect more of them to help you, or were you just like, they're playing the same game that I'm playing? They're playing an honest game, and they played the game how we all played.
No. Let's be so clear.
Okay.
Let's be so clear. You can play an honest game and fuck people over.
Oh.
Hey, if I win, Dixon, you're going home. David, if you put me up, Dixon's leaving. Hey, I think you played a shitty game. Here's the lowest case. Hey, I don't really mess with you, and it seems like you don't mess with me, so here's the case that you actually deserve. You can be honest and still deliver what you need to deliver. No, there's no righteousness in the way that Philip ended, in my opinion. A righteous behavior would have been doing your person that you rode with to the end justice. I was done a disjustice by his actions.
Okay.
And that's how I feel about it. I'm obviously very passionate.
Look,
this is the part of the bitterness I'm getting over.
And it's okay. Take that time. We hold space for you to get through the bitterness, and I do that. I hold that space. Love Philip, but I understand your feelings.
So, I know it's tough because Philip's a nice person, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't need a nice person. I need a ride or die.
Got you. So my last question, since you're on this reality journey, would you do another show, and what show would you want to do?
Yes. Because what we just talked about, I don't feel like people got to see the true Lete.
True.
And I would love to connect with more people. I feel like my true purpose on this earth is to inspire others to be their authentic selves. Okay. And when you're trying to people please, or you're trying to be perfect, kind of honestly a little bit of what they portrayed me as, you're not living authentically yourself. And so that's why I'm loving going on these interviews, and I'm loving being able to post on social media and be myself, because people are like, oh, you're a person that actually has feelings and emotions and not a robot that's just approved. Right. So I would love to go on the challenge, Traders. Some people say Survivor. My issue is the food. Like, yo, girl, like,
period.
But a lot of people are bringing up the challenge, and I think I'm going to need to look a little bit more into it, because kind of like Big Brother, people find love on that show, and I am single. So,
I mean, you can do the challenge, because that's fun. Love Island is still available if you want to do fine.
I've heard Love Island too. And if I did Love Island, I'm not completely opposed. At first I was, because I'm like, oh, it's a little raunchy, but at the same time, you don't have to be raunchy. And these people genuinely fall in love and date people. And that's what I'm looking for, like a genuine connection.
I mean,
and so that is enticing. I am getting to the older part of it, so I'd have to go on soon, because I know they keep people in their like mid-ish 20s. So I would need to go on this year.
I mean, we'll make it look. I think you look beautiful, and I think in your 30s you'll still be just as fly and just as dope. So you'll be fine. You'll have those young boys eating out the palm of your hands, period.
You're right. If I'm 30 and single, I would love to date a 25-year-old man.
Ow. Word.
I mean, they need to have like the finances to be able to afford a woman like me.
Absolutely. But
I would be so down for a younger man. Would love that.
We love that. And I love talking to you, Leti. You are a joy. You are a real one. I will say you are real. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Lana. This was fun.
This was so much fun. And I will be posting you on Instagram very
Okay.
soon. So
Love.
when I get it. So thank you so much, Leti. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Bye.
And that was Letty. I'm so excited. She is a real one, y'all. I'm telling you, I enjoyed that so much. She's fun. She was fun to talk to. Hopefully, we'll get her back on the show for anything else. I don't know. Or maybe she'll be on another show and we can get her back then. But I enjoyed talking to Letty. Thank you so much, Letty, for your time. It was a pleasure. And that is that. That is that on Deal or No Deal Island for me. And I hope you enjoyed this season as much as I did. And thank you to all the guests who've come on the show. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, Allie, for being the person to get them all here. We appreciate you. And yeah, I'll put the banner up so you all can see the last thing. So hit the subscribe button to this channel and all of our channels. We appreciate you very, very much. Um, Follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can also follow me in all of those places. Instagram is right there for me, and all the rest is just the same as down there. And follow all of our channels. Follow us on our audio podcast links. Join our Patreon. Get your merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. And that's it for me. So thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Cheers.